Hey guys, Felix here with Quadcopterguide, and if you've been on the channel before, you know that I'm truly a big fan of DJI camera drones, and on the channel I help you get the most out of whichever drone you might own. The amount of technology that they cram into such compact little drones is just nothing short of remarkable. Today's a special day though. Today we take a dive into the world of FPV. Also a quick shout out to all you guys that joined the 10,000 subscriber livestream, and congrats to all the winners. So why FPV, and specifically why DJI FPV? Well, I've been wanting to try FPV for a while, but one of my excuses until now was the analog transmission signal from the drone to the goggles, because that's kind of how you see what the drone sees. The analog signal would break up quite a bit in the videos and reviews I saw, and the quality was just not very amazing. Of course, racing drones is what made them popular, and I didn't really feel like just racing around. You know, if you guys know me, you know that I'm more into the cinematic filming side of things. Cinematic FPV came about. I was intrigued. Then DJI released the digital FPV system called DJI FPV. Now you could get digital signal from the drone to your goggles with a low enough latency where you could fly one of these quads with the digital system. I was very intrigued and I had to do it. I had to try it out and share it with you guys. Let's jump right into it. So what is FPV? Well, FPV stands for first person view. So controlling the drone or quadcopter is just like you sitting on board in the cockpit with a flight yoke in your hand, leather goggles and scarf optional, and whenever you push forward on the right stick, you're pitching forward. Whenever you push left, you roll left. No matter which way the actual drone or quadcopter is, if it's facing you, if it's facing away, because you're permanently on board, and the experience is very immersive. So who is FPV for? It's for those adventurous types. It's for those geeks that want to figure out how stuff works sometimes, and if it doesn't work, why it doesn't work, and kind of tinker and fix things, because let's face it, you will be fixing things. It's for those that want to experience something super thrilling and exciting. There's nothing like your first FPV flight. What is the minimum gear you need to get into FPV? Well, before we get into all that, I strongly recommend you pick up a transmitter and a simulator. Just spending 10 to 20 hours on a simulator, getting a feel for the controls, because this is quite a bit different than a camera drone, for example. It won't just stay hovering there with perfectly still GPS lock like a DJI camera drone. It takes quite a bit more input from you. So getting that skill just takes time. And before you just take off without practicing, the odds of you breaking something are quite high if you don't do this. So I just recommend everybody start with the simulator. I've been toying with the idea of doing kind of a live stream every once in a while where you guys can join me in a simulator so we could fly together, practice together. If you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comments below. I think that'd be a ton of fun. We could also get other guys from other YouTube channels to join us. Who's in? Let me know. There are kind of two paths you can go. You could go analog or digital. Of course, the analog way, there's lots of gear out there. The used market is quite filled with products, and there's also very low end and also high end just on the analog itself. So for any kind of budget, there's something there. The DJI FPV system is quite pricey. I mean, there's analog systems which rival it on price, so I don't quite understand that. The experience, however, is also nothing like analog in my opinion. For all the parts that I bought and what my quad is made out of, you can check out the links in the description below. In terms of the drone or quadcopter, there's a couple ways you could go. You could build it all yourself with different parts that you have to choose, which is the way that I went, just because I'm kind of crazy like that. There's also bind and fly drones, which you can buy from factories or manufacturers, where it's all put together. You just have to bind it to your transmitter, throw on your goggles, and you're good to go. Now, whichever way you choose to go, just know that the odds of you breaking something or having to fix something are relatively high. So if you build it yourself, you kind of learn the process and where to look for if you have issues. Now, you don't have issues all the time, but it's definitely different than owning kind of a camera drone. So you can go either way. I just preferred to kind of build it myself. A, to see if I could do it, and B, just for this aspect of I could choose what components are on it, and I can choose top quality components. In terms of size, 5" is kind of the standard go-to, and when you hear 5", 3", 2.5", 7", we're talking about the propeller diameter. So in this case, I built a 7". So the diameter of the propellers is 7 inches. And that's kind of where that came from. You'll need a lithium polymer battery. In my case, I went with a 6S or 6-cell system. Once again, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. 6S is one of the kind of most powerful ways you could go about designing an FPV system. And so yeah, I went 6S, why not? The batteries don't have any fancy circuitry on them like the DJI camera drones have, for example. So the good news is there's many manufacturers, different sizes, different capacities, and they're quite a bit more affordable than the DJI batteries. So that's kind of nice. You need a radio or transmitter, and I ended up going with this one. It's a 16-channel transmitter, lots of switches and knobs and things you can program on here. It actually runs open source software called OpenTX, which is kind of nice because multiple radios can run this software. If you follow online walkthroughs, then there's lots of them out there, and I kind of like the idea of an open source system running on here that is continually being developed and updated, and you get those updates free of charge. You can store multiple models on it. There's enough channels for any kind of accessories. There's telemetry, which you can get live from the drone to your remote. It's quite fancy, actually. And of course, you need goggles. The DJI FPV system, of course, comes with the DJI goggles, which look like this. Oh yeah, that's stylish, isn't it? Whichever kind of system you go with, if it's digital or analog, you'll need a set of goggles. Now, goggles stay with you a lot longer than a drone or batteries or even remote controls. So if you're going to invest in something or spend more on one aspect of this hobby, then consider making that goggles. The DJI FPV goggles are on the high end of the price scale, but I figured, hey, you buy it once and you can fly multiple quads with it if you want, and that's just the ones I went with. Of course, there's many different options out there in the analog world. Now, the drone doesn't come with a battery charger, or the batteries don't come with a battery charger, so you also need a battery charger. There's, of course, once again, many different manufacturers. There's low-end budget ones that get the job done. There's a little bit higher-end ones, and there's really expensive ones. I kind of chose something of the middle of the road. This charger lets me charge 2 batteries at once. It's essentially got 2 chargers built in side by side, and I can control each one separately. I can plug this into AC power, which is what kind of runs out of the outlets at your house or apartment, and I can also run this off DC out in the field if I wanted to, or in the car. Now, a lot of chargers actually only run on DC voltage, so you can't just plug them in at home. So just kind of pay attention when you're buying and researching. And I prefer to get one that has AC. I don't have to have a power supply separately. I just plug it in and it works. Now, there's kind of a second level of things that are nice to have and kind of essential, but you don't absolutely have to have them. One of those, of course, is extra propellers, because you will jinger those up when you land or if you crash, and replacing those is super fast and quite affordable, so it makes sense to fly with smooth new props if you have them kind of messed up. A GoPro if you don't have one. If you want to get kind of good quality footage, then a GoPro or equivalent is kind of necessary. Multiple batteries, of course, make it very nice. The batteries don't last as long as you're used to if you're coming from the DJI camera drone side, where we've gotten to kind of expect 25 to 30 minute flight time on those. This massive thing on my 7-inch with the current props that I have on there, guess how long they last? This battery lasts between 6 and 9 minutes. That's right, there's different things I can do to improve that, but this battery on there lasts about 6 to 9 minutes. Kind of crazy. It's just different. It's just different. This thing has a lot more performance. Various building equipment and field equipment is essential or very, very nice to have. I've learned many things building this, and the products I would use to build a new one if I were starting over, of course, I link down below for you guys, and I'll go through some of that stuff in the future in a future video. Hey guys, Future Felix here. I'm editing this right now, and there's just too much great stuff that I want to share with you guys, and it just won't make it all into one video. So I'm gonna have to make this a part 1, part 2 type video, but don't worry, part 2 has a lot of great stuff in there. I go into a little bit in detail of how all these systems work together and what you need to make an FPV quadcopter fly and how those systems communicate. It's not too in-depth, and there's a lot of things that I learned that I share with you guys in that video, so you won't want to miss it. In the meantime, check out some of these other great videos I've done. And like I said, I'll link part 2 here when it's available. See you in the next one.